I like to use the hard times in the past to motivate me today. Check your ego at the door. The ego can be the great success inhibitor. It can kill opportunities, and it can kill success. Life is anything but predictable. Life is anything but predictable. I've found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. Around every corner, always protect the engine that powers you. I was raised by strong women, and that DNA is in my daughter and wife. If I love you, I show you I love you every day. Little things, big things. I knew credibility would come only in time and through earnest performances. It is no surprise that animation is Hollywood's most successful and innovative genre. Football changed my life, and it gave me a platform to get out my aggression, and it gave me a sense of value. I learned a long time ago how to be coachable. I can hold my own when it comes to burping. I've got a good feeling that I could win a championship. There are definitely people who disagree with certain creative decisions you make. Pleasing everyone is pretty hard. I enjoyed working with Stephen Merchant. He was wonderful. I've been such a big fan of his acting. The single most powerful thing I can be is to be myself. With drive and a bit of talent, you can move mountains. I know. I've done it. Not only do I think being nice and kind is easy, but being kind, in my opinion, is important. I would never win an award for not loving pizza. Nutrition is so important. It can't be stressed enough. I can eat 2 large pizzas and a tray of brownies in one sitting. I'm not sharing that. We can get another one, but I ain't sharing. My goal was never to be the loudest or the craziest. It was to be the most entertaining. As an athlete, you'd better laugh at yourself when you slip in the mud. The one thing that I keep learning over and over again is that I don't know nothing. I mean, that's my life lesson. I was a bit challenged when I was younger to stay on the right path. What I like to do is get the family in the pickup truck, and then we just go for a drive. That's it. Some of the kids in school used to call my father a fake or a phony. That kind of thing brought on a few fights. I don't have a need for speed. I'm not that guy. I don't have a need for speed. I'm not that guy. I've always loved the showmanship of professional wrestling. While I love making movies, I love that platform, too. I played with 2 lines of action figures when I was a kid, G.I. Joe and Star Wars. The successful men I admired all built their bodies. When I was 8, I thought I was Harrison Ford, Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, Elvis, and Chuck Norris all at once. I was fortunate and I was lucky that I had a couple of people in my life who cared about me. I had good, loving parents. It's the philosophies of being an athlete that carry me today. The Revlon run/walk effort to focus on women's cancer has my wholehearted support and gratitude. My genetic makeup is one of physicality. I'm a visceral guy. The only film I've enjoyed starring a wrestler was Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. There's this lingering philosophy that movie stars shouldn't do TV. There's this lingering philosophy that movie stars shouldn't do TV. I want someone who can trust that my big hands are going to take care of them. As a father, safety is always a top-of-mind issue for me. With all the success that I've been lucky enough to get, that doesn't happen unless the home life is solid. I'm a passionate, hardcore fisherman. Biggest fish I caught? A 200-pound tarpon. If I want to be called The Rock, I'll be called The Rock. If I want to go back to wrestling, I'll go back to wrestling. You don't sign up for a divorce when you get married. It's very painful, but it's taught me a great deal about myself. We all live with cancer, whether it is present in ourselves or affects someone we love. The one thing I couldn't identify with was the blue cowboy outfit he put on. My grandfather was one of the very first, if not the first, Samoan wrestlers to become known on a worldwide basis. I started in action, and then I went to comedy school. My parents weren't actors or studio executives. To be immortalized in a ride is a very cool thing. I was a good football player, and I had a chance to play with some great players. Because of my wrestling background, nothing a director can throw at me on a set can faze me. In wrestling, there's a shelf life, and some wrestlers don't pay attention to the shelf life. If you tell me there's something I can't do, I'll want to do it even more, especially when it comes to entertaining. In Hollywood, a lot of times when something is in development, it just takes a lot of time. I know Governor Christie. We've met a couple of times. Wrestling is intimate. You can reach out and touch the wrestlers. I love making movies, but there's nothing like performing live. I've always loved the idea of playing Black Adam. I have good friends who are politicians on both sides. I knew early on that I wanted to entertain in some form, and I knew I would work as hard as anyone to do it. When he speaks to you, he speaks with an earnest vibe and an earnest energy. I've been fortunate to have had the life I had prior to Hollywood. I wasn't starving. I was going to eat the next day. When I was 10, I won the horseshoe throwing contest at summer camp. I was also the wiffle ball champion in my town. When I was 10, I won the horseshoe throwing contest at summer camp. I was also the wiffle ball champion in my town. For different roles, my condition and training and diet does alter. Depending on the role, it will really dictate the type of training I do.